Good day, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel. My name is Marie, and on my channel, I talk about my past experiences as a younger woman versus my present experiences as a woman over 50. And today's topic of discussion will be diabetes. And I want to talk about diabetes today because mostly everybody in my family has diabetes, and they say that some people will say that you inherit diabetes, but as I got older, I realized I didn't inherit diabetes. Well, I don't have diabetes, but you don't inherit diabetes. I think you inherit your family's eating habits. So I don't know how accurate that is with some people, but I can say as a kid and as a child, thinking back to the things that I used to eat and how my weight was spiraling up and down, and being an overweight child, I can honestly say that when I look back, I think it's because of the way your family fed you, like whatever your family allowed you to eat, and that's that would be a contributing factor on why someone would have diabetes or be diagnosed with diabetes. So far, I've been very lucky. I'm over 50 and I don't have diabetes, but I can tell you that there are quite a few family members of mine that do have it. And like I said, when I look back on what I was eating as a child, that explains my up and down weight, and that also explains, a lot of the family members having diabetes. When you're younger, you're not responsible for cooking or preparing your meals, so you have to eat what your family gives you. And if you come from, a background where money is scarce, and you don't have many choices, you have to eat what is available to you. So that is definitely one of the problems. But like I said, as I got older, I realized, whoa, these foods that are the foods that I'm used to eating are actually not good for me. You know. But then, can you really say that? Because those same grandmothers and aunties and stuff that cooked those foods back then, they lived a long time. They lived a long time. They lived in their 90s, 80s. You know. And so some of them did have diabetes and they lived with it that long, but sometimes you start thinking, well, was it really the food? I mean, it must have been. Well, now the ingredients and stuff uh, are different in the foods, because I remember some of like one of my grandma, my dad's mom. I remember her cooking things like pig feet. I don't eat pork today. Can you imagine when I was a child? I used to eat pig feet, and I remember my dad didn't eat pork at all, and that was his mom who was cooking pig feet, and he used to come in and say, I can't stand to see you eating that, and I didn't understand why, because I thought it was good at the time. It tasted good, tasted damn good back then. And also, one of my dad's brothers one time seen me eating McDonald's, because when you're a teenager, McDonald's tastes good to you. I even worked at McDonald's as a child, but I remember eating a Big Mac when I was a teenager, and my uncle said to me, when you get older, you're not gonna like the way that tastes. I said, really? I said, I don't think so, Uncle. I'm always gonna like the way this tastes. Today, I don't even eat fast food. I haven't ate fast food in years. So he was right when he said that I wouldn't like the way that tastes when I get older. Like I wouldn't be able to, and that is very true. But back to uh, the things that were being cooked. I remember eating like, like a lot of fried foods. I remember people cooking foods with lard back then, like frying the chicken and everything in lard. um, I remember, a lot of pork was being put in everything, the greens, this, that, you know um, and then one day I went no one day someone from my family, I went shopping with them, food shopping with them, and I started looking at people's food, at people's the people in the supermarket. I started to notice what everyone was having in their carts when I started to become a little more conscious about, like, why does my family have diabetes, and why are we all, like, why are there a lot of overweight people? It's not a lot of overweight people, but there are a few overweight people in my family. Then I started to realize that other people, when they shop, they are shopping, I'm seeing a lot of, I look in their carts and I see fruits, vegetables, and water in the cart. Fruit, vegetables, and water. And then I would look back at my cart and look back at my, family member's cart, and it would be full of sugar foods and processed foods back then. And that's when I really, really began to pay attention to what I was eating, and also my children. I started to pay attention to what I was giving them to eat, and I started to open their palates up to foods from all walks of life. Like, try everything, especially healthy things. I wanted them to be healthy, so I started trying to introduce vegetables and different foods to my children. But my children don't have diabetes. I don't have diabetes because we eat different. Even our family members tell us that, we're open to try things that they would never try. So that's one thing. And as I looked at the carts while I was in the supermarket back then, I started realizing, like, whoa, hold up. Not only are you buying sugars and you're buying processed food, but you're feeding it to the kids. And this is what happens, because if you're the one buying the food, you're the one who have to make you have to make the best food choices and decisions for you and your family as far as healthy goes. So I started to, like, change some things about what I was feeding my kids. At one point I was like, before I was conscious of what I was buying, I would buy those sugar cereals because that's what I was used to eating when I was growing up. So I was doing the same thing. I was keeping the tradition going of passing down the generational curse of eating unhealthy. And that's where I started to change what I was giving them. But I looked at my cart at that time and noticed that I had a bunch of sugar cereals, Frosted Flakes, Fruity Pebbles, Captain Crunch, all the sugar cereals that you want to buy. I was buying them for my kids at first because I thought they were good, because that's what I ate growing up, and I thought it was good growing up as a kid. Not knowing that, it's a bunch of sugar, sodium, and other ingredients in those cereals that, you know, are not good for the kids. Not only is it not good for them physically, but I think it affects them mentally too. I think that when you give them too much sugar, you can see the difference in their behavior, and you can see the difference in I call it, they be bouncing off the walls. It's like a sugar rush. It's like they got a quick fix off the sugar. My grandkids included, because when they can't come over, I make sure there's no sugar on deck. Please, no sugar. No, please, no sugar. And if it is, y'all, I hope y'all going home soon. But yeah, when I think back about the way we were raised eating, it was all bad. It wasn't good for me, especially. I grew up with my weight going up and down, up and down, up and down. Still battling it today, over 50. But today they have things to help you manage your weight. It's not a permanent solution, but it helps it helps it helps you along the way with their lifestyle change. So because you don't want to call things diets and stuff like that. So I would say the lifestyle change, but and then as a child, I remember being scared to participate in gym activities because of what people might think because I was overweight. But in reality, somebody should have been encouraging me to participate in the sports and letting me know that participating in sports would help with keeping the weight down because now you're active. So that's another thing. If you don't have any physical activity, yeah, your weight will balloon. Eating a lot of sugar and processed foods and not being physically active. So, like I said, as I got my own family and as I grew up, I realized that my family members, they all eat a lot of sugar and processed foods, and most of them. And it's just the way, the way you grow up. You grow up eating those things, and that's what you condition to. And not only do we have diabetics in our families, but we also have amputees in our family. And it's a touchy topic and a touchy situation. But I had to really think about it clearly, like like I changed what I ate. I changed the way I ate years ago. Like, from when, like I said, from when I was a young person, I started to think about all of that. And yeah, your family, I don't know if it's inherited. I feel like it's, it's your family cooking for you and can, and you're being raised eating these foods. And so that's why you think they taste good. That's the best food you can eat because that's what you grew up off of. I'm not saying not to eat the foods that you grew up off of at all, but in moderation. Like, that shouldn't be your everyday. You shouldn't be eating fast food every day. I don't eat fast food at all, but you shouldn't be eating fast food for lunch, and dinner. Some people do it. Not only are you eating that bad food for yourself, but it costs a lot to eat fast food. Like, for one person, it's a lot of money. you know, I don't know if it's me. I'm a little frugal, but it is costly to eat out every day. And I mean, you're better off cooking your own food, and that's what I started to do. And I remember my mom when she started, tasting the way I cook, and even grandmom, God bless her, may she rest in peace. Even one of my grandmothers, two of my grandmothers, they both actually tasted my cooking. My paternal and my maternal grandmother both, and they was like, "Where'd you learn to do this? Like, how'd you learn to do this, and how'd you learn how to cook like this?" Because it was different from what they taught me. And I just told them that I was trying to be healthy, trying not to have diabetes, and trying for my children not to have diabetes, trying for them to be open to eating other things because you notice that like there are people who are stuck on what they eat, and when you're stuck on what you eat, you that's what you stick to, and it's probably in the long run it won't be good for you, um, as far as your health goes. So um, that is it. I think I just wanted to make this and put this out there because a lot of people have diabetes. And like I said, I work in a nursing home. I'm not a nurse, but I do work in a nursing home. And a lot of people over 50 and 60 are stuck in their ways of, what they like to eat. And most times it's a lot of sugar and a lot of processed foods. So I'm no expert on what to eat But I'm still struggling with weight and with making the decisions throughout the day on if that's the right thing for me to eat. Like, that's another thing I have to put in my head. Like, when I'm eating, I have to think to myself, and that goes for anybody, when you're eating, you think to yourself, am I making the right food choice for myself, or am I just eating off an impulse, or eating because I'm bored, or am I just eating this because this is what I'm used to eating? I remember one time I was in class and I heard the professor say, she was asking each of us what we ate for breakfast, and I remember I said a fried egg sandwich with cheese, and she questioned it like, a fried egg sandwich with cheese, and I remember thinking to myself, what's wrong with that? A lot, a lot. You can eat it, but not every day. You should eat that in moderation. I mean, that should be, some things should be for joyful pleasures. So, and this is not to offend anybody. This is not to come across like I'm better than anybody or anything like that. It's just, we have to start thinking better, especially over 50. When you control how you eat, you feel better mentally and emotionally and physically. And like I said, even with the kids, when you look at what you're feeding them, and then look at their behaviors, and say to yourself, do they really need sugar? Because they sure don't. In my book, they do not need any sugar. Oh, when they come to my house, no sugar on deck. No sugar. My grandkids, no sugar on deck, please. No juice. That's another thing I have my kids used to drinking water. And if you do drink juice, you only can have it like once a day, and it will be half water and half juice. No soda at all. We don't drink soda. I don't drink soda. Never did, even when I was heavier. When I was, even when I was a heavy child, I didn't drink sodas. But yeah. So, yeah, I just wanted to put that out there and say that I know my family members, the ones like my mom and other people who battle the disease, wish they can go back in time and change the way what they were doing, and change the way they ate. But if you do the right thing, you can control it, right? You can control your diabetes, but you want to actually try to prevent having it if you can. If you can prevent getting it, put the juice down, put the soda down. Anything that has a bunch of sugar, put it down. No, not saying that you can't eat it every once in a blue moon, but for everyday diet, nope, not a good idea. So, with that being said, if you like the discussion that I just had, and you can relate to what I just said about your family members having diabetes because of the way they ate and not really generational, or it's not really inherited, and you agree with what I just said, or disagree with what I just said, do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you want to be notified when I upload my next video, hit that notification bell. And last but not least, as I always say, if you have any comments, any disagreements, any suggestions, or anything in that order or that fashion, leave me a comment below, and I will definitely reply. Everyone have a good, blessed day. and be mindful of what you're eating today. You know, I know I am trying to really, really focus on, you know, that part of my life, like what that is a big important part of my life, what I'm eating, which I have doubled down and got really, really good at, you know, putting the right things in my body. But with that being said, love you all and have a great rest of your day.